Hey sellers, welcome to day 3 of GoSeller 2022. I'm Priya Mittal and I will be the host for today. So if you haven't already, check out day 1 and 2 of GoSeller. They were a huge success. So in day 1, we spoke about product research and product sourcing, followed by in day 2, we spoke about funding your Amazon FBA business, VAT and taxes, and your perfect Amazon FBA product launch strategy. And today, we are going to be talking about advertising and business monitoring. Before we move on with today's session, if you haven't already, register for the event because registered users get exclusive benefits such as exclusive coupon codes by our registered partners and of course some informative PDFs that will help you scale your business on Amazon and it ensures success. And of course, check out our GoSeller official page for more information about the event, our registered partners, and the agenda and speakers of day 1 and day 2. Your watch link will be there. So starting day 3, we have Nitin Mantreddy, who is the Director of Customer Success at SellerApp. He will be giving you advanced PPC strategies that most sellers are not doing currently. So Amazon advertising, as we all know, is a crucial part of your Amazon business. Without that, visibility is almost zero on Amazon. And of course, with Amazon advertising comes cost. And I understand that Amazon advertising can get very expensive and the ACoS will be really high if not done properly. This is why we have Nitin Mantreddy to speak about advanced PPC strategies and help you bring down that ACoS and of course help you excel on Amazon using advertising. Over to you, Nitin.
Hey all, today we'll be talking about advertising on Amazon. We shall be discussing about the basics of Amazon advertising, the different types of Amazon advertising, why it is important, and the key metrics that one has to keep in mind when we're running these ad campaigns on Amazon. And at the end of it, we should also be talking about how SellerApp automation is going to help an individual seller or a big seller on optimizing campaigns through our automation tools, right? So I'm Nitin Mantreddy. I head the customer success team here at SellerApp. I'm a mechanical engineer who started my own business and then naturally progressed towards SellerApp, where with my experience I help out businesses to scale their businesses on Amazon. So the first question, what is Amazon PPC? So Amazon PPC is Amazon's advertising platform which helps sellers amplify their sales, amplify their visibility on Amazon's platform, on the Amazon search pages basically. So every seller understands, right? The first thing that is required for you to be able to sell on Amazon is to make sure that your product is visible to customers or possible customers. So Amazon advertising helps us achieve exactly that by increasing the visibility and thereby increasing the sales on Amazon. So why Amazon PPC? That's the next question that anybody is going to ask, right? So primarily Amazon advertising and Amazon PPC, which is the pay per click, helps us increase sales, increase visibility, helps us create a complete brand awareness for your products and your brand, and also helps us boost the search engine rank page and the sales rank. So typically it's all about improving visibility, improving your brand awareness, improving your sales. So one of the things that people have to keep in mind when you're looking at the Amazon advertising is how Amazon advertising works. So there's a concept called the flywheel effect. So for us to get sales, we need to get visibility, and for us to get visibility on Amazon, you need to have a good momentum in terms of sales. So I keep giving this analogy to my clients, right? It's as simple as a student fresh out of college needs a job, but for you to get a job, you need experience. So it's a catch-22 kind of a situation which happens even on advertising, which happens on Amazon. So this flywheel effect basically is similar to that. So where you need to get sales to improve your search visibility on the Amazon search pages, for which, well, again, you need more sales. So what Amazon ads helps us to do is to get that initial visibility, which will help us convert more sales. And as we get more sales, our reviews and sales rank tentatively improves, and then as you get more organic ranking with that data, with that relevancy built on, you increase your visibility, and then again the whole cycle kind of repeats by itself. So this is a very important aspect because a lot of times a customer in this case a seller would probably assume that it could be a one-time activity in terms of running these advertisements, and as you get more sales you can probably cut down on the ads. But then what's important is to consistently run the advertising, ensuring that you're optimizing the campaigns and improving your profitability without really stopping the ads, because the whole flywheel effect. And one needs to remember there are millions of products being sold on Amazon by thousands of sellers, right? So everybody's trying to compete in this space. Everybody's trying to get a grab of all those sales that is possible, that is available on the Amazon platform. So at no point in time can we really slow down or take a back foot when we are running these campaigns. So now we move on to the different types of advertisements that are available on the Amazon advertising platform. So you have sponsored product ads, sponsored brand ads, and sponsored display ads. Now, what do these mean? So these cater to different audience types and different stages of your marketing funnel, basically, right? So if you're looking at increasing your awareness of the brand, you would typically run a sponsored display campaign or a brand campaign. Similarly, if you're trying to garner more interest towards new products that you're launching, you would probably decide to have a sponsored video campaign that is running to describe and to showcase your product through a visual medium. Similarly, when you're looking at a consideration, evaluation, or a purchase stage of buyers, you would more focus on sponsored product campaigns, which are specifically targeting the specific audience type. Now, before one starts to begin creating campaigns, we need to understand two things. So one is to understand the objective or the intent of creating those campaigns, and the other is deciding on how much you're ready to spend for that particular campaign. The intent of the campaign is very important. It helps you decide the direction in which you want to optimize the campaigns. If you're looking at creating more awareness for your product, the direction would be different. If you're trying to optimize the sales and the net profit of the product, the direction would be different. So before we even start off, you need to really sit down and understand what are we trying to do with that particular campaign that you're advertising the product in. And the second, of course, is the budget. Well, how much are we ready to spend on this product? And you need to keep in mind, it is a continuous process. So you might want to decide to start off with a slightly higher budget and then gradually optimize that spend, and then as the revenue increases and as the business scales up, you can choose to keep increasing the budget. Moving on to the metrics in the advertising space. So there are a lot of metrics that one needs to analyze when running the campaigns. But I think out of all the metrics, I think a couple of things that straight away needs to be paid attention to quite frequently is the cost per click-through rate, the advertising cost of sales, and the conversion rate. These are different metrics, mostly ratios between key metrics, right? So this helps us understand and gives us a direction in where we can optimize the campaign. So by keeping the cost per click is nothing but the average amount that you're spending on your Amazon advertisements. So as the cost per click increases, it basically gives you a sense of understanding that there are a lot of buyers, there are a lot of sellers out there who seem to be interested in advertising for those particular keywords, which basically means it's a high demand keyword, and the possibility of sales is also high because there are a lot many people who are looking for those keywords. The click-through rate gives us an indicative measure between the ratio of the number of clicks that a person is clicking on your product that is being advertised versus the number of times your product has been shown. It's basically clicks by impressions. Advertising cost of sales, we shall go a little deep dive into the advertising cost of sales because that is the key metric on the Amazon advertising platform, which is basically going to give you a sense of the profitability of a particular campaign, right? And the conversion rate, as the name suggests, talks about how many sales you're getting for every click through these ad campaigns. Now, as I mentioned, advertising cost of sales is the ratio between the ad spend divided by the ad revenue. It is a key metric to measure the performance of the Amazon PPC campaigns that you're running. It helps us understand if the campaigns are performing well, is it performing profitably? And again, when I talk about profitability, we need to read this in conjunction with the intent of creating those campaigns. If the intent is to have more visibility, more reach, more awareness of the products, the cost can probably take a backseat. You could probably keep the ACOS to be a little higher initially, and then as the business scales up, as the sales for that particular product scales up through the advertising, you can start optimizing these campaigns to reduce the ACOS. Moving on to structuring of your PPC campaigns. Now, this is a very critical aspect of your Amazon advertising journey. One should have a really good structure, and you should really plan out how you create these campaigns. What are the different types of campaigns? How do you intend to advertise your products, structure the keywords, structure the ad groups, and target those specific keywords in your campaigns. It helps us have control on where we are spending the money. It helps us understand and scale up the advertising as and when we garner more sales, right? Now, how does one structure your campaigns? So there are different metrics, there are different criteria to keep in mind when you're creating and deciding on the structure for your campaign. So it starts off with the intent, the product variation, the audience that you're trying to target, and the budget, right? So you need to keep all these in mind. You need to understand, you need to decide what is it that you're trying to achieve out of that campaign. Are you trying to increase the brand awareness? Are you trying to optimize the campaigns? Are you looking at scaling up the business through those products that you're planning to advertise? So we would suggest to group products based on variations, based on the intent of that particular product, deciding on what kind of audience you're trying to reach out to, what kind of keywords that you're trying to reach out to. So these are the key critical aspects that you need to keep in mind when creating the campaign, so that it can always be, so that you can scale up the business, because this is an ongoing process and not a one-time thing, as I mentioned earlier. Now we move on to understanding how Amazon advertising works. So Amazon advertising, as I mentioned earlier, is a real-time auction process. Now one needs to bid for specific keywords to win this auction and thereby getting a slot on the Amazon search pages. So the way this works is that the highest bidder usually wins this auction of sorts, and then you end up paying slightly higher than the second highest bid. So it's as I mentioned already earlier, it's a second bid auction methodology that Amazon works. And this way, it's really good because you don't necessarily spend more than what you have to spend. And the other good aspect over here is that you don't spend for just impressions. You only spend for the ones where when a customer engages with your product on the Amazon page. Now there are different bidding strategies that Amazon enables a seller to when they're running the campaigns. So you have types like fixed bid, dynamic bid, up and down, dynamic bid, down only, and then you have the rule-based bidding system, which was pretty recently launched on the advertising platform. So what these basically does is it enables a seller to allow Amazon's algorithms to work on your behalf. So when you're having the fixed bid, Amazon bids on your behalf for exactly the amount of money that you have bid at a keyword level. When one selects the dynamic bid down only, you're basically allowing Amazon to bid on your behalf for anything less than what you have bid. And when you choose the dynamic bid up and down, you're allowing Amazon, so this is a slightly more aggressive method of bidding where you're allowing Amazon to bid up to 100% more than what you have bid at a keyword level, enabling you to be in the race, especially when you're trying to be aggressive, when you're trying to increase the brand awareness for your products. Now, rule-based bidding system is a new system that has been launched on Amazon, where you can create these rules within the Amazon's ecosystem to enable increasing the bids during certain periods of time, especially during the holiday seasons on Amazon, which is typically the peak season for sales. Next, we move on to discussing about how do we optimize the bids. And this is critical again because the winning bid is what gets you the placement slot for your product through your ad campaigns. Now, there are different types of bid optimizations that can be done. We will be talking about three particular types. One is the fast and sloppy method, where the strategy involves one being absolutely aggressive from the start of creation of the campaigns, and then gradually moving on to optimizing these bids, reducing it where to find the sweet spot, which gives you maximum conversions and maximum visibility as well. Next is the inch-up method, which is the reverse of the fast and sloppy method. Here we start off very slow, and as we get more data, we decide on inching up these bids in small percentages and small increments to find the sweet spot for getting maximum visibility and sales. The final one I'd like to talk about is bidding by placement, where we leave the bid of a keyword fixed and we tweak and identify the sweet spot by increasing the placement multipliers, by tweaking these. So Amazon allows us to increase the placement multipliers for top of search and product pages by 900%. So what we can do is we can leave the keyword level bid fixed, and then we can incrementally increase the placement multipliers to identify again the sweet spot where we're getting maximum impressions and conversions. Now, all these strategies and all these tasks kind of is quite labor intensive, time consuming. So we've got a small video talking about how SellerApp's automation can help you optimize your campaigns with ease.
Hey sellers, are your Amazon PPC campaigns costing you a lot of money? Wishing you could optimize your campaigns to boost your product sales and generate high profits, but lack of time holding you back? Then keep on watching, because boy, do we have something exciting for you. I'm here to tell you that all your problems can be solved in one word: SellerApp Advertising Automation. What is it, you ask? Well, SellerApp Automation is the industry-leading advertising automation software that can automate all of your routine Amazon PPC tasks and increase your sales. How do we do it? Using data-driven machine learning algorithms, of course. SellerApp will optimize the bids, harvest new keywords, and remove negative keywords, which means better ad position, lower ACoS, and increase in sales volume with a higher return on ad spend. Sounds fantastic, right? So, why use SellerApp Automation over anything else out there? Pre-designed, proven rule sets customizable for your goals. Rule sets that are comprehensible by anyone. Grow your sales and ROI while minimizing wasted ad spends. Click the link in the description and sign up on SellerApp. Explore our powerful SellerApp automation feature today. Let us do our magic on your Amazon business.
Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope that was informative. And over to you, Ria.
Thank you so much for that informative presentation, Nathan. I think I stand corrected when I say that Amazon advertising is one of the most crucial parts of your Amazon journey, and I'm glad to see how SellerApp is making it easy for us. Before we move on to our next session, if you have any questions, feel free to ask us in the live chat next to the video. So that's where our experts will help you answer your question. So let's move on to the next speaker. We have Dilip Vamanan, who's the co-founder at SellerApp. He's going to be talking about business monitoring. No matter how much money you put into advertising and no matter how much you optimize your campaigns, if you're not monitoring them, you're doing it wrong. And of course, as a new seller or intermediate seller, you don't know what data metrics to track and it can get overwhelming. Well, don't worry, we have Dilip Vamanan again to help us understand how you can perform business monitoring and what are the data metrics that you need to be tracking. Over to you, Dilip.
Hey guys, really excited to be here for the GoSeller. So each time the GoSeller event gets bigger and better, and the content also becomes much more sharper and also very detailed. And I'm very excited to be part of this year's 2022 GoSeller Summit. And I mean, we have covered a lot of topics already by the various sellers, but again, I'm going to cover a very interesting topic, which is about your Amazon business monitoring. So last year, when I spoke on the same conference, on one of the conferences about the same topic, I had mentioned that Amazon business monitoring is something which is very important once you start scaling up, once you start reaching to a certain stage. I stand myself corrected. I feel Amazon business monitoring or monitoring your business is one of the most important aspects which you have to ensure from day one of your selling journey. So here we start. So let me just pull up my slide and again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening for all of you who have joined from multiple places of the world. We are very, very excited to be running this GoSeller Summit 2022. I'm hoping that this will be something which will be really helpful for all of you. I know that some of you have just began your Amazon journey, or some of you have yet to start your selling journey. But doesn't matter, whichever phases you are in right now, whether you have started selling or you're all a multi-million-dollar seller, I'm sure that there are a lot of interesting aspects, interesting points which you can actually take from this session. So for me, Amazon business is all about leveraging the right data. And when you really talk to a lot of small or the large sellers, what you can realize is many times they build the business but after a point of time, due to various reasons, they might not be able to scale the business after a certain limit, right? And the major reasons which we have seen is, one of them is actually the use of data. And this is the third iteration of the same presentation over the last 3 years. Each time we have tried to add more and more relevant points to the Amazon, to the marketplace, as well as the demand trends which we see in the market. So welcome everyone for the Amazon Business Monitoring version 3.0. A brief about me. So I have started my software engineering career close to 15 years back. And this is my third startup, SellerApp. We started close to 4 years back. We are a Singapore headquartered company having both offices both in United States as well as in India. As I told you, like I think you may not find a founder who is so bullish about the D2C as well as the e-commerce. I've seen it from inside out, and the explosion which you have seen in terms of e-commerce adoption, at least in the last 2 years post the pandemic, is like unprecedented. And yeah, thanks a lot everybody for joining this. So why to sell on Amazon, right? I think this is a $1 million question, and many of you do have the answers already. But again, just to reiterate the most important points, it is one of the easiest business which you can start. I will say it's an easiest business, but not simple, right? Easy and business generally sometimes don't go hand in hand. It's one of the easiest business which you can start, but it may not be very simple for you to run the business. But again, Amazon is one of the most biggest e-commerce marketplace out there. And it also helps you a lot in terms of starting the journey easily, and also maintaining and also managing a business after that. And it's also highly profitable if you choose the right strategies. And some of them we will actually discuss during today's session. And next one is, the Amazon Fulfilled by Amazon is essentially a technology or an opportunity which Amazon has created, which also helps you to scale your business along with Amazon, right? So you might have just started with a single SKU, but sometimes later, you decided to scale and you have multiple products. But again, Fulfilled by Amazon, it's a wonderful opportunity through which you can really scale your business without investing a lot in infrastructure and supply chain and other stuff, right? So that's also something which makes Amazon very unique. So now let's talk about the importance of monitoring your business. Again, as I told you during the beginning of the session, earlier I used to think that, or we used to present it in such a way that monitoring your business is only important once you reach to a certain stage, right? In every e-commerce, there are 4 stages. The first stage is you are scouting or understanding or identifying the right product to sell. The second part is essentially you are optimizing based on the initial trends you see in the market. The third phase is essentially scaling your business. And the last stage is you are managing your business, right? But in each of these stages, we have always felt that monitoring is something you can always do once you start scaling up, once you are in the third phase of the journey. But we stand corrected. Currently, we always say that monitoring is something which you have to start from the day one of your business. And what are those important data points which you need to monitor? So we are working with multiple offline retailers who move, who identified marketplace as a new channel. For them, there might have been already existing official resellers available. So which means that technically their product could be sold by multiple sellers on marketplace, because all of them have every right to sell the product on marketplace. In that condition, what can happen is there can be multiple sellers selling the same product. So buy box is a very important thing. It's an algorithm which Amazon uses to understand who has the opportunity or who has the buy now button for the product, right? So you might have already seen on Amazon, there may be multiple sellers, but a single seller is winning the buy box. So again, there are various reasons by which, this is actually happening. And some of the reasons are actually mentioned here. It all depends on the inventory which you're maintaining. Obviously, Amazon FBA is something which Amazon always gives a higher precedence. And a lot of times you can also see that this might be due to the pricing. And last one is your buyer experience. So Amazon always try to optimize their buying behavior for a buyer based on the ratings which the seller has received, not just the individual product rating, but also the seller ratings. All these various factors Amazon looks in terms of finally determining the buy box for the product. Okay, let's go to the next one. So it's always very difficult to bring in as a single metric your overall health within the marketplace. So as I mentioned, like when you're monitoring your product, you are also monitoring both the external as well as the internal aspects. So in the beginning, I will actually cover some of the internal aspects like buy box, health, account health, and other stuff. And we'll also look at some of the external factors. So the second factor is your account health. So it's a single metric which is available for you. It's also available under your SellerApp dashboard, where we look at various aspects like cancellation, late dispatch, on-time delivery, valid tracking, multiple data which we actually look at and then come to a single metric. And here, let's go through some of these metrics in detail. So cancellation, again, this is something which as a seller, you have to be always careful about. You would ideally like your cancellation rate to be less than 2.5%. Anything above that, it always brings the alarm bell, and Amazon will, and all the automated algorithms will start looking into your product and your account in detail. So ensure that your current cancellation rate is less than 2.5%. So there are many sellers who dispatch their product themselves. They might be in a seller fulfill prime, or the seller itself take the decision to through FBM. So in all those conditions, ensure that the late dispatch rate is less than 4%. Because again, when you look at from buyer side, I just ordered the product. I would like to receive the product within a certain amount of time, right? And if you try to dispatch the product late, and it is always going to give a bad experience for the buyer. On-time delivery rate, again, you might be working with multiple logistics provider. Ensure that your products are always delivered to the end consumer on time. And again, some of these aspects are already handled by Amazon itself if you're an FBA seller, but I'm talking about if you're not an FBA seller. Again, tracking rate, dissatisfaction rate, and invoice defect rate. And again, these are factors which I've seen sometimes you can just miss it, but ensure that all these aspects are in place. Okay, let's go to the next one, minimum advertised price. Again, I give you an example of your product being sold by multiple sellers. So in that case, what might happen is, let's assume that as a brand, you would like all the sellers of your product to keep a certain price, right? And you don't want the price to go a bit below that particular threshold. So in that case, always ensure that you are keeping you are just maintaining the MA, you are actually mapping the minimum advertised price, and you're not selling the product below that. So selling below the map, it always violates the agreement with the brand or with the company whose product you are actually selling. Again, so if you are a seller, if you are the brand, ensure that you register your brand, and whenever you see a violation by one of your seller, communicate that to the seller, and also ensure that not just your resellers, but you yourself as a brand is also selling your product. That means you are present on the marketplaces. Okay, so next most important point is essentially listing hijacking. It's a kind of an internal as well as an external stuff which you need to monitor, because listing hijacking always happens when an external seller who may or may not be selling your actual product list their product against your listing, right? And this we often see during the holiday season, where suddenly you see a new seller coming and listing their product. So this is always a very, very risky thing, because you can surely lose a lot of ratings for your product because they may be selling a fake product. So ensure that you use a software like SellerApp to monitor your listings and see the number of sellers who are active on your listings at any point of time. Again, some of the things, you are brand registered, you are also monitoring your brand continuously. Those are factors you have to take in handy when to prevent the listing hijacking. So how to build a profitable business on Amazon, right? Again, we did a recent survey with most of our customers, and we saw that only around 25 to 27% of the sellers who are working with us are really profitable. Okay, this can be because of two reasons. One is you are not following the rule of thirds, which we always say in all our training sessions, that you have to ensure that after your landing cost, after your marketplace, you keep the last third part of the portion for the profitability, right? And many sellers don't follow this. So ensure that you are building a profitable business. And how to build this? All the four pillars for the profitability. The first one is you create a marketing plan which is again not draining but sustainable as well as profitable. Having a right product. This includes sourcing the product. This includes understanding the landing cost of the product. Second one is understanding the current market, the competitor research. And the last one is you have to, Amazon is also a constant place where there is always a change, right? There are new sellers coming, there are new products coming, the customer demand is changing, the shopper trends are changing. So it's always very, very important for you to keep expanding, keep innovative and launch or expand, right? So let's take each of these points in detail. The first one, the right product. As a beginner, let's say some of you have joined today or actually just started your journey. So it's very, very important for you to choose products which people actually do care, right? And this is always, you can always validate or invalidate this using features like keyword research of SellerApp or shopper trends of SellerApp, right? Because you have to always keep in touch with the consumer demands. And also as a beginner, you always choose a product which has a year-long demand, right? And many times we have seen sellers taking this mistake of selecting a product which is a seasonal in nature. So ensure that you're actually selecting a product which has a year-long demand. Next one, select products that are profitable long-term, right? So, the global supply chain after the pandemic, after the war has really changed. And maybe your sourcing cost has really, really shooted up. But again, ensure that you're choosing products which are profitable in long-term, right? So you have to consider all the factors like the sourcing, the marketplace fees, all those things, the cost per click. Are you able to source the product profitably? All those things you really need to look at when you source the product, when you identify the first product. How to find the perfect niche? I think we do have an advisor with SellerApp who always says to us about really listening to the social and what's happening around you, right? And if you're a good listener and you also listen to what's happening across around you, I'm sure that you can actually find products which are actually having good needs for the people and which are not served by the current marketplace. So always find products which are of good need. Avoid products which are seasonal fluctuation. Again, once you become expert in the game, you can always go for products which might sell only 3 months in a year or 4 months in the year. But in the beginning, always you choose for a product which has a year-long demand. Again, profit margin, we already covered that. So marketplace also has various fees attached to it. Like one of them is actually storage fees, which is always proportional to the dimensions of your product. So avoid large products, at least in the beginning. And you can always, once you again grow and expand, you can always look at that. And again, don't look at products which has a high competition unless you can make a huge difference. And if your changes are very incremental, if you can make only a minor differences in your product, don't go for products which are high competitive right now in the market. Competition research again. We do get a lot of inquiries from our existing customers who are actually launching newer and new products, and the chances of after they do a very deep competitor research, what we have seen is less than 20% of those products even qualified to actually sell. The reason for them may be one of them, right? So before you decide to launch a new product or even launch the first product, some of the things you can always look at is go to Amazon, think from a buyer point of view, and try to search for keywords which can actually lead users, the actual buyers, to your product. So look at the existing listings, start searching for some of those, and then see what kind of products are coming up, right? And if you think you can actually make a huge difference in terms of creating a brand new listing, if you think you can, that's a great thing. Look at the existing product reviews of the products which are already there. Understand, and there are various tools out there, including the reverse SEO by SellerApp, which will help you to understand the most relevant keyword for the existing product. So you can input the SEO and the seller app can actually give you the most relevant keyword for your product. And the last one is also try to understand what kind of ad campaigns, what type of ad types they're running, what kind of conversion they might be getting. So look at all these things in detail, which will help you to analyze the current market scenario. Second one is, again, I think this is a very, very vast topic to cover about marketing and other topics. But again, you do have 3 ways to promote your product when you just launched, right? Because initially you just list your product, you have all your products in the Amazon warehouse. So you cannot expect magically sales to happen, right? So there are only 3 ways. One is, okay, you created a great listing and Amazon search engine or Amazon search algorithm really liked your listing and start showing your product in the top of the search. There is 0% just can happen. This is one way of getting sales. That means you're getting organic sales from day one. Second one is you drive external traffic to your page, right? This can be from your social pages. This can be from your own website, your emails, newsletter, all of them. This is a valid option. Or the third one is essentially you run Amazon advertising. So, and this is found to be very, very effective for most of the sellers whom we are working with. Because if you really understand the game of Amazon advertising, it's always easier for you to optimize and make sure that your product is reaching in front of the customer, gets all those initial advertising sponsored campaign sales, and then you keep expanding. And advertising is also a very, very step-by-step process. It might take you anywhere between 4 weeks to 6 weeks to understand what customers like, what kind of users are converting for you. But again, it's a very, very proven method. As I told you, external traffic is also something which Amazon has been talking about, and marketplace also love this. So this is also something which you can really look at. The last and the most important thing I just wanted to cover in today's discussion is expanding your business, right? And we always say is that the constant, the only thing which actually ever evolving and change is actually the change, right? And marketplace is a place where every day the sellers are evolving, the buyers are evolving, the products are evolving, the categories are changing, the shopper trends are changing. So it's very, very important not for you to essentially get stuck or get blocked with a couple of SKUs or some other products. Right? It's very important for you to start expanding to new products in your same subcategory or the category, and then keep evolving. So it's very, very important, and always ensure that you are also looking for a very, very uplift growth during, especially in the whole holiday season, and keep expanding. Start launching new products which can complement your existing product, and then most other important things are, one is essentially expanding to new marketplaces. So Amazon Global Selling Program and other stuff, which has also made it super easy for any seller to start selling in new geographies, right? I mean, and we have experience of now working with a lot of sellers who started with one geography, and now they are selling in 4 to 5 geographies profitably. So again, consider you expanding your business to new geographies as well. So last and final thing, a bit about SellerApp. So we have been successfully supporting Amazon sellers in all the different phases, including their marketing, sales, operations, into a single platform. We do have functionalities and benefits all the way from launching your product up to scaling and understanding the category trends and market sizing and all of them. So it's a full platform, which the only platform, the full and only one platform which you will require for all your phases of the journey, and that's what actually makes SellerApp very unique. So again, a bit more. So we handle a lot of data. I think this slide might be slightly old. We do have more than 320 million keywords of different, actual keywords which buyers have been searching on the marketplaces. And we do track a lot of products in terms of generating various insights and understanding the behavior out there. So again, something which also differentiate ourselves is the advertising platform which we have built. It's an end-to-end platform which will help you all the way from launching the campaign to optimizing and scaling your campaigns. Again, we do have functionalities which will help you to optimize your products, manage your inventory, and a lot more. A great dashboard, profit dashboard. Again, profit dashboard again helps you to do a lot of predictions in terms of your sales. It also helps you to dissect the most important sales metrics for you. And it also helps you to kind of classify the best-selling products and also the products which are not selling for you, so that you can actually kind of liquidate your inventory and then you can keep moving to newer products. So again, thanks a lot to the entire team at GoSeller for inviting me, as well as making me part of this wonderful event. Thanks a lot. Okay, so over to you, Ria.
Hey sellers, are you struggling to keep track of your Amazon business? Meet SellerApp Business Alerts, a complete suite of Amazon seller notifications to seamlessly sprint your growth to success by keeping you informed on every change that's crucial to your business. SellerApp's business alerts help you stay on top of all the critical changes happening on your Seller Central account. Become a dynamic seller by eliminating manual monitoring of your business metrics and staying updated by the minute so you can take actionable steps to scale your business. How to use SellerApp Business Alerts tool. Log into your SellerApp dashboard and click on Business Alerts. Select the Amazon product from the dropdown. If you don't find the product in the dropdown, add the product's ASIN to track it. SellerApp lets you set alerts for price, listing, rating, buy box, and reviews. Price. You can set an alert when a competitor lowers or raises the product price. LQI. Set an alert when the listing quality of your product or your competitors goes down. Rating. Use this alert to find when you get a low rating. Buy box alert. Set an alert when you or a competitor loses buy box. Negative reviews. Use this alert when you get a negative review from a buyer. Set this alert to send a timely response to your customer. Click on the Set Alert button. Select a suitable range and threshold. The alert notifications are sent to your mail inbox every day. If you have set alerts for your Amazon product, take necessary action each time there's an alert that may lead to loss of sales. If there are alerts from your competitor products, take counteractions to make the best use of your competitor product alert. What are the benefits of this amazing tool? Save time and effort spent periodically on monitoring key business metrics. Get instant alerts and emails when there's a change to one of your products or your entire Amazon account. Take action immediately before it causes a huge impact on your business. Set Amazon alerts with SellerApp and receive notifications on various parameters like price, inventory, buy box, ratings, negative reviews, listing quality index, revenue, and order, not only on your products, but also on your competitors, all using a single platform. Keep a close eye on your competition. Respond to competitors' changes immediately. Use our automated alert system to simplify the process and get alerts whenever prices or any other metrics reach the thresholds that you set. Effectively manage negative reviews and ratings. Set alerts for negative reviews so you can quickly respond to every single one and not let it reduce your sales. Check out our SellerApp Business Alerts, the best way to stay updated on your Amazon business. If you have any questions, email us at sales@sellerapp.com. Feel free to chat with our experts.
Thank you for your presentation, Dilip. It's always been so much fun to have you on GoSeller. Of course, and as you mentioned, this is our second GoSeller, and we are going to be back next year as well. So thank you so much for being here, and it's always such a pleasure to have you. Before we move forward with the event, do not forget to check our GoSeller landing page to view day 1 and day 2. And of course, check out our registered partners and the agenda for today and tomorrow. So this is it for day 3. Before we end today's event, I think we need to do a quick recap. So first we had Nitin Mantretti, the Director of Customer Success at SellerApp, talk about advanced PPC strategies. Then we had Dilip Amaran, co-founder of SellerApp, talk about business monitoring and important data metrics to track. I saw that you all had so many comments to put in the comment box, and we always are really happy to help you because that's what we're here for, and that's why this event was created. So I'm glad you're all having fun. Hey, before you leave, let's take a sneak peek into what's happening in the day 4 or the last day of GoSeller 2022. We have 3 amazing speakers for you. First speaker, who's Ben Leonard, is going to be talking about brand management and why brand management is important for you. followed by Ryan Kramer from Ping Pong Payments. I'm sure most of you already know him. He is going to be talking about cross-border expansion. And lastly, how you can sell your Amazon FBA business or exit your Amazon FBA business. We have dear Gregory L. Frank from Empire's Flippers, who is going to be talking about just that. So of course, I'll see you all tomorrow. Until the next time, happy selling.